Hi everyone, Ms. Tash here. I'm going to teach you how to draw a horse today, and this is going to be the horse lesson. Um, so let me just tell you why this is important to me. So my grandfather, my mother's father, was a carpenter, and he could draw. And when I was little, he would draw pictures of horses for me. He didn't actually do it the way I'm doing it because he didn't even have a reference picture. He just could do it out of his head. So what I normally do with this lesson is I used to use it as my SLO. So it's like really funny because when we first came up with those, it had to be like a pre-test, post-test. And when we first came up with them, I said to Mrs. Condon, "Okay, don't say anything." I was like really quiet. I'm like, "I came up with my SLO. It's gonna be horses." And she goes, "Horses." So now every time we have like something funny happens and we go horses like that, even though it's not really about this anymore. So we absolutely love this lesson. So what I loved about doing the pre-test, post-test was when I said draw a horse and people just they couldn't visualize it. And so I'll tell you a secret about art and why it's important. It's super, super, super important for you to visualize what you want in your life. And so you sort of have the vision of what you want your life to be like. For example, do you want to be an artist when you grow up? Do you want to what do you want to be? And some of you already know that, but like sometimes it's really really hard to visualize. So as I was telling you before, when I first knew I was going to be doing this, I couldn't visualize how I was going to do it until it came to me later. So um, the better you are at visualizing something, the more apt you are to have it in your life. So now teaching you how to draw a horse can help you to visualize it in the future. So here we go. Drawing a horse, sorry, is about a couple of things. Measuring and shapes. Measuring and shapes. Then you add the detail. When you measure, it's about proportion. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this in pencil because I'm hoping that you'll still be able to see it. What I did was I traced the size of your sketchbook on here. So this is going to go in your sketchbook. The other thing I want you to know is that you have this book called Art Materials and Resources. And in this book, there are some pictures of horses. I just saw them and now I can't find them. They are here somewhere. Here they are. Here they are. So you can look at that. But also, you can go on the internet and you can find a lot of pictures of horses. I know that some of you actually ride horses or even have horses, and so you could do a picture of your actual horse. The best way to do this picture of this horse is this sideways picture. That's how I'm going to show you. So we're not doing horse head only. We're not doing body with no legs. I got to tell you that a horse in motion is a little bit more tricky to do. So if it's just standing still and somebody took a picture of it, it's fine. This horse is a girl. Boy horses have an extra little part. So I don't know. You will either add that or not. Okay, maybe it'll be better to just do a girl because you know the horses are naked. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, even though I have measuring here, is shapes. Okay, so if I take my finger and I make a shape around this head. That shape is triangle. If I make a shape with my finger around this neck area, are we all in agreement? It's a triangle. Okay. If I take the body here, and I know it kind of goes up, but that I would say would be a rectangle. Now, the rear end. Circle. Okay. Um, with the legs, I think you can sort of see, no, it's kind of small, but it's sort of a triangle again and a rectangle again. This shape here on the back leg, it's kind of like the way the chicken leg goes. It's sort of a backwards knee thing. And that's kind of like a parallelogram. So I'm going to put that in there too. I don't know how to spell it. Parallelogram. This is probably not the right spelling. I'm usually a good speller, but hey, off the cuff. Okay. So those of you who are like freaking out about drawing a horse right now, because you're like, I have never done this. She's asking me too much. I'll tell you something. I used to teach elementary school. I used to teach first through fifth grade for many years at both Lake Street and Bridgeport. And at the time, they didn't have kindergartners taking art at that time because they were only half day. So the first graders would come in and I'd say, what do you know? You know anything like about art? Like, do you know triangle? Show me with your finger. I know triangle. Do you know circle? Yeah. They go, I know circle. How about rectangle? Yep. I go, what else do you know? Okay, parallelogram's kind of advanced, but once you know triangle and rectangle, you can totally figure that one out. Okay, so here I go. The first thing that I'm going to do, oh, sorry, that was the shapes. Now it's time to measure. Okay, so my measurement is going to be my fingers, so not a ruler. All right, so I'm measuring the nose. You can't see it. See that? I'm measuring the nose to the top of the head, right? I'm going to keep my fingers exactly the same. And, oh man, this is really hard. Okay. Does everybody see that? So the measurement of this head is the same as the measurement of the neck. I'm not moving my fingers. I mean, sort of I am now, but there you go. So now I'm going to take that measurement. Oh, my hand's in the way. And I'm going to measure the width of the horse. It's the same, right? Isn't that cool? Now I'm going to measure that circle for the way the rear end is. So the circle for the rear end is like also same. Now, piece de resistance, people. I'm now going to measure the legs. So here we go. Isn't that weird? I swear to you, I am not moving my fingers. I mean, I'm keeping them super steady. So what you see, it's in proportion to itself. Isn't that so cool? It's crazy cool. It's kind of like whenever I teach like how to draw a figure, a person. Same kind of thing. The person is also the same. Arms and legs are the same length, and that seems weird because it seems like the legs are longer, but they're really not. Okay, so here I go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make this horse so it fits on the page. So I don't want to make the head low because then I won't have any place to put the legs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put that triangle into the picture. So the way the triangle is, it's at an angle. So here it is. I think you can see that. So now that I put that triangle in, I'm now going to put the triangle in for the neck. So I want to measure it like this. So I'm going to take that measurement, I'm going to turn it, and I take my like fingernail and made an indentation so that I could make that line. And then it's like right here. Okay. I'll make it darker so you can see. Okay. Now I'm going to do the rectangle. But when I do the rectangle for the body, I don't want to include the rear end. Okay, sorry, my throat's bothering me. So sorry, I'm so embarrassed. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take this measurement. You can't see. And I'm going to keep that steady, and I'm going to take it with my fingernails, you know, so that I can make it the same width. And then I'm going to bring this rectangle down. Now the other thing is that rectangle it's about the same length too, which is super weird. So it's going to be right about there. Okay. Now we're going to add the circle. Again, measure from there, put the circle in, and then the circle's going to be right about there for the rear end. It could be a little bit bigger. Okay, there it is. For the legs, I like to do stick figure, but I still want to make that bottom line. So I'm going to take that, go down there, take my fingernail so that I can, you know, put that line in so I know how long the leg is going to be. And then the other thing that I do is I'm going to take my pencil, and I don't know if you can see what's happening there, but it's kind of a dark horse, but you can see that the rear end is sticking out farther out than the leg. So that's important for me to know where to put the leg. So how I'm going to do it is this leg is it's not going to go as far as the rear end, but it's going to go like backwards, and then it's going to come straight down. So I'm just going to make a stick figure for the leg. Okay. The other leg, same thing. I'm just going to make a stick figure for the leg. It's going to go right about there. Now for the other, I've got this leg here is not coming out of the tip of the rectangle. It's a little bit in, and it's relatively straight. So I'm just going to put that in straight. And then the leg behind it is like kind of a bit at an angle, like that. Okay. I did it. So now all I have to do is now I'm going to add the detail. Okay. So when I add the detail, sometimes I go outside of the line that I made, and sometimes I go inside of the line I made, because now I can just look at this horse and try to copy the detail knowing where it fits. So for example, this nose is a needle nose. It's too pointy, and that's not the way the nose is on the horse. The horse nose kind of comes down like that. And then this is kind of cool, the way the chin is. The chin has like a round thing in it. I mean, it's a bone, but like it's round, okay? And then over here, it's not a sharp edge. It just curves like that. And then the body part curves like that. Next thing, the ear is going to come out of the top like that. Sometimes, depending on what horse you're drawing, the ear, there'll be two ears showing. But the way this horse is doing a side view, the other ear is on the other side, but you can't see it. So, and then over here, it kind of comes out, sort of where the eye is. You see that? Now, another thing the horse has that we did not originally put in is it has, I don't know if you would call it a shoulder bone or whatever, but it goes like a lump here. It kind of comes in. This is working with the pencil, I gotta say. I bought this pencil at the store called Simpal in Camillus. It's $1.50 or something like that. And it's like, I just love it. It sharpens really well. Okay, and then here's what happens. I think it's just so, oh, sorry, that's the bell. It'll ring again, but that's okay. Okay, so what I love about horses is they seem to have this like dip right here, as though they were always meant to be ridden by a person. I just think that's just astonishing. So you go down, and then it goes up. And then this is my other favorite thing to think about. So there was this movie, a Star Trek movie, where they actually had to time travel. So what they had to do is sort of loop around the sun. And so I always feel like when I'm making this, with the Enterprise, they were in space. They did a wicked loop around the sun, and then somehow or other they time traveled. Okay, it's not real. Anyway, so now I like to loop around this rear end like that. It's just so nice and round where that rear end is. Okay, before I do the legs, I really want to do the undercarriage of the body, because if you can notice that, it's like they call it pigeon-breasted in people. It's kind of like this: the chest sticks out and then it goes skinny in the area of the tummy. So then it just goes sort of up into that circle. Okay, and then this part here is the leg. So we're going to take the leg and we're going to follow around this line that I made for the leg, and it gets skinnier. And I would say do not worry about the hoofs if you cannot see them, because you can't draw what you can't see. You have to be using a reference picture, and if you don't see the hoofs because there's, grass on top, then don't draw them. Okay, over here, I'm going to have that leg taper, because what happens is we're making it wider, and it has that triangle quality to it, and then go down into the rest of the leg and put the hoof in. Now I went below the original line to add these hoofs, so I want to make sure that all those legs are on that same line. And then this leg here, it kind of went in front of it. There it is. So there's that other leg, and it's just right there. And then this other back leg is coming out of here. So instead of me making that line in the middle as a stick figure, it ended up being the line on one of the edges. Okay. And then you can add the hair or any other details, like where the eye is if you want to. You can erase all of your guidelines if you want to. You don't have to. And then the tail. So a horse tail, unless somebody cuts the hair. Like one time I had this Barbie doll that was called a Francie doll, and she had bangs. So she was like sort of a cousin of Barbie, or I don't know. You people might know that, or if she might not exist anymore. And my sister cut the bangs so that they were like way up here, and I was crying for days and days and days. And she said, "Well, they're going to grow back." I'm like, "They grow back on a human, but not on Francie." And I was very upset. So I know that some people cut their horses' tails and they do decorating things and stuff like that for like when they do horse shows, but they do grow back. So, and some people braid, and ponytails are basically named after horse hair. So there you go. It's got like a lift to it. Mine is a little more exaggerated, and it comes pretty far down. Like, it comes really far down, like almost to where the knee would be. And then on this horse, the hair is not in the front because it's on the other side. So again, just draw what you see. And if you want to put the bridle on there, is that what it's called? I don't know. And there you have it, a horse. It makes me so proud of myself, because when you go to look at some of the art that I have on my website, KarenTash.com, you'll see a lot of abstract work, and then you're like, oh, she can't draw. Yes, I can. And so I think it's really fun to draw. It's just really fun. So my horse looks a little bit like compressed compared to the picture, but it really isn't. It's just the angle of the way I have this angled on the screen. So I think I did a good job. So the hard part is the angle of the shape, placing that on the page. If you're having trouble with this, when we meet in person, I can help you put the shapes down as long as you have the image that you're working from, if it's really hard. But I got to tell you that once you get the hang of this, you're going to make some great horses. So thank you. Good luck.